I was 18 to be in the cadets. I was really a lucky son of a kid, boy, because all the guys I knew wanted to be in the Air Force. Air Force was the thing. That was during the war, first few days of World War II. And it was hard to get in. I didn't realize it then, but it was, not many people got in. And once they got in, they didn't always stay. They flunked out, and they were kicked out, discharged. And they made me a pilot. Said, okay, you're going to get trained as a pilot. Oh, was I happy with some of the other guys who all really wanted to be pilots. Where there were stories about cadets that signed up and weren't pilots, they became navigators or gunners, committed suicide. It was that important to us. But going up in the air, and the airplane was a single engine, open cockpit airplane that you put straps on around your stomach and around your legs. That was what kept you in the airplane when you're upside down. And it was scary to climb into that thing, to put on the uniform of an Air Force cadet. Oh boy, and make I think it was $27 a month we made. But that was so wonderful. After all, I was only 18. I was just a kid. I was scared. And I was scared. But then the teacher was at least 45 years old. And he sat in the back seat, and the cadet that he was teaching would sit in the front seat of this airplane. So he climbed in, and he had you get in the back, and you sit back there, and he made sure you put your seatbelt on. And that was scary, just to put on a seatbelt. Why do I need a seatbelt? But anyway, the teacher was set up in the front, we sat in the back, and he had a little megaphone that he would talk into, and it had a tube go around under your seatbelt and the rest, and come up to your ears, so you could hear him when he talked. And he said, okay, first we're going to teach you a stall. They forget, an airplane, when it turns, it doesn't turn like this. It turns this way, and then makes the tail go down and makes the nose go around, and that makes you turn, step by step. Climb, you first give it the power. The power is throttle over at this end, so you give them power. And you're holding onto this stick here, and you give it lots of energy, and you dive down like this. You climb it up as far as it'll go before it falls. And when it gets way up here, your engine's going all the way in. You give it a shoom and dump it. You stall it, and it goes quick, and as it goes quick, you shove down. And the teacher had taught us that. That's what you do. But anyway, when we got down, I looked around. All these airplanes had blue sides. They'd all thrown up their breakfast. They'd given them the blueberries to fly their first flight with, knowing they'd be throwing up probably. And they did. They threw up all over the side of the airplane. Then they had to wash their own airplane. But they didn't wash them out. They said that's normal. That's why we painted them purple, to say that was your first flight. I didn't throw up. It was okay, but I felt like we started off in a very light Douglas airplane with twin engines, one on each wing, and you learn how to take a twin engine airplane up into the air. And that was a lot of fun. You really are a pilot now. You learned how to fly. You can get up and you can get down without killing yourself. And so that you're a pilot, but no license yet. But that was what we flew. It was a basic trainer. It was a big airplane, heavy airplane, and it would do things the other ones wouldn't do. But it was a neat, BT, they called them, basic trainers. We did a month, 2 months at each place, and from each place we'd move on. Once we graduated, if we passed their test, we pass and we go up, and they take us to our next destination. We were notified we were leaving, and so we were being shipped up to the war. The war had started, and the invasion of the Philippines had happened, and we were then going up to the Philippine Islands. Yeah, to the Philippines at Leyte. Leyte was the place where we were all supposed to land, and that's where MacArthur landed. That's where the rest of the guys landed. I did not land there at first. I was still down in New Guinea, because I'm Wilford. W is at tail end. Charlie, I got the end. I couldn't get any shot. I couldn't get anything. Everybody wanted to get the Distinguished Flying Cross, or something like that. To get a medal like that, a Distinguished Flying Cross, you had to shoot down 2 Japanese in one mission. You hear all these lights coming up out of the darkness. I thought they were rifles, and they all started laughing at me. They said, "Those aren't rifles. What are they? They're fireflies." I was from California. We'd never seen fireflies. I never knew what a firefly was anymore until it finally came to stop. So that's what we did. We knew where now the rest of the guys there. Number 1 was there. He had been there many times, had flown in that area, and he knew where it was. So I stayed on his tail. I stayed on as number 3. And sure enough, we got back to the main strip at Leyte, and we landed there okay. He landed, I came in on his tail, and somehow either he or his wingman had done something. They had screwed up the air in the approach to land so that it was really whipping the airplane around it. It flipped me up, turned on my side. So I went over like that, and there was a Corsair. Marines do the Corsairs with wings that were like that. Remember Baba Black Sheep video thing? They had Corsairs in that. They're a big airplane flown by Marines, and they thought they were really good. It was a good airplane, but it couldn't match the P-38. But anyway, they came in to land on the thing, and there were the F-51, the Corsairs most of them had already landed now. But when they landed, they left this big stirred up air mass behind them because it turned them up trying to take power, and it turned my plane clear up to the side like this. And I would crash if I didn't do something. I couldn't fly that way for long. But anyway, I held it that way as long as I could, turned the power down so I wasn't creating my own vortex. And I was able to go beyond the turbulence of air and land, and I turned it back and landed and survived. But that was the most dangerous, it wasn't the most dangerous, it was the scariest time in flight for me other than instruments. There was some instrument flying that was pretty rough down around Manila. They had a hurricane down there, and that was rough. But we made it there all right. I made it to our bunks, and then next day we went down, got in our planes, everything worked, took off, went back to the home base at Leyte, at Tacloban, and then next we were shipped up to the Philippine Islands to go up there and join the 49th Fighter Group, which is this group that's this thing. That's why I wear it. This is the 9th Fighter Squadron, 49th Fighter Wing, and this is our flying gear to go up there. Anyway, so we then went up there. went on up to the next flight, up to Hollandia, to join the 49th up there at the place where the war was really was really going on. There'd been a lot of Japanese shot down by Bong and others in our squadron. By the time I got there wasn't anything left. We didn't have anybody shoot anybody down, they or us, on the first mission or two. But one of the first missions I flew was at Tacloban. This is where we invaded. Remember, MacArthur said, "I shall return." I don't know if you heard it back. We heard about it when we landed in the Philippines. He stood up and said, "We shall return." And then when he did, "I have returned." Well, what about us? We brought you here. But he didn't. It was just, "I shall return." And he was very arrogant, and none of us cared for what he was.
He was looking for me?
Yeah.